Hey everybody, welcome back to the Working Man's Whiskey. I'm Bobby. Guys, today's review I'd like to do, this one here, Backwoods Bourbon. That's the full name, Backwoods Bourbon Whiskey. That's it. And how I came to acquire this was, there's a store here in town I go to every once in a while, grocery outlet, and they pretty much specialize in stocking like overstock from other stores. So I go in there every now and then to see what they have in the whiskey department, and I've reviewed some pretty good whiskeys from that store. When I was in Truckee last year in December, I believe I reviewed a blended Scotch that I got from there. It's where I go to get my Old Crow. Old Crow's like $9.99 there, so pretty good price. It's like usually $10.99 everywhere else. But I saw this one in there the other day. Never seen it before. I'd never even heard of it before. Backwoods Bourbon. Right there in the store, I pulled it up on my phone. Couldn't really find any information about it. They did have a little website, but the only thing on that website really was different cocktail recipes. So I kind of, between the bottle and then that website, I was able to gather a few things. From the website, just getting those cocktail recipes, I figured this is a whiskey more made for mixing maybe. But I wanted to try it out anyway, see what we had. And as you can see, I've actually made a couple drinks with this. And then it said premium craft spirits on the front. Guys, I don't know about it being as like a rule of thumb or anything, but when I see craft spirits, there aren't too many craft spirits that I see out here that are aged for very long, so I figure it's a pretty young whiskey. And then it said bottled by MBW Brands, Dallas, Texas. If any of my Texas buddies out there, Russ or anybody else, has ever heard of MBW, please let me know about it. Don't really know much about MBW, never heard of it before, but it says bottled by MBW, so I figured this is probably a sourced whiskey. It doesn't say it's distilled there, or it doesn't say where it's distilled at all, actually. It says, in keeping with Backwoods tradition, we have produced a one-of-a-kind whiskey. Backwoods whiskey is unique. Our unique whiskey is made for the independent individual that is looking for a change. Our Backwoods whiskey gives a one-of-a-kind experience and has lingering notes sure to please. And it just says American-owned, American-made. It's 40% ABV, 80 proof. So kind of your, and the bottle doesn't look like anything too fancy or anything. But it was $11.99, guys. This cost me $11.99. And when I looked it up online, it looked like most places where you can get it usually have it between the like mid to high 20s. So for $11.99, shoot, I thought definitely worth a try. Anything you can find you haven't had before for a decent price like that, what do you have to lose? If it's not good, you don't get it again. Most whiskeys will have their place, whether it's being able to drink it neat, being able to put it in cocktails, whatever you want to do. But every whiskey has its place, in my opinion. And if it doesn't, just don't get it again. But we'll open this up, guys, and see what we got here. It's a little, you guys might, I don't know if you can see me sweating through the camera here, but been a little bit warm here lately. 90s, we had a few days in the hundreds, but I was outside a little while ago mowing the lawn, so a little dirty, a little sweaty. Anyway, so take a look at this, guys, and it's pretty. I don't know if you can see that. I usually try to hold it up against the wall. It's pretty light in the glass, though. It's a light gold color. Again, I would guess this is pretty young. If I had to guess, I would say this is a year or younger. It just says Backwoods Bourbon. Of course, nothing straight. No straight bourbon whiskey or anything like that. So, I would guess this is probably, as I said, maybe a year, maybe a little younger than that. So, a lot of these spirits these days, these craft spirits, you see people they'll put age statements on the bottle, but it's usually months, 6 months or 9 months, whatever. Nothing wrong with that. That's the way those are designed, and they get them out faster, and people feel like they can find ways to cut corners and whatnot to speed up an aging process of a whiskey. I, of course, am a little bit of a purist. It doesn't have to be an ultra aged whiskey, but I do enjoy the whiskey being in the barrel for at least a little bit of time. But the younger whiskeys like this one, if it's a good whiskey, it's a good whiskey, no matter how long or short it was aged. So let's give this a nose. And on the nose, I mean, you do get a little bit of that alcohol, that it does smell young. You got that kind of young corn note, a little bit of a sweet corn. The alcohol, as I said, comes through a bit. But you also do have some redeeming qualities about this. I do like that corn note. It's got a little bit of that glue note that some people might, attach to a young whiskey. To me, young whiskeys have kind of like a doughy, biscuity fondant type note. Fondant, that sugary stuff that they put on cakes to make designs and whatnot. But it has like a biscuity, doughy note. That's one note, and then the fondant being another kind of that, just like that sweet, sugary type note to it. Other than that, though, there's not a whole lot going on the nose. That's mainly what I get, that corn, sweet corn, that bit of a glue note, and that fondant and biscuit note. Those fondant and biscuit notes. So let's take a taste. And on the palate, it does have a little bit of that alcohol burn to it, but it's also got some nice notes. That, again, sweet corn. That biscuity note comes out more on the palate, even more than on the nose. It's got a little bit of a citrusy thing going on with it, like lemon juice, or maybe even like lemon peel, a little more tart than just lemon juice. But it's got some decent things going with it. But that's pretty much where it ends for me. Again, sweet corn, doughy, biscuity note, a fondant type note, that kind of glue note that some people will attach to young whiskeys. Definitely there. And then that citrusy type note. There's a little bit of spice to this, but the spice might come more from the alcohol kind of leaking through. So it's not a bad whiskey. It's not a great whiskey. Would I buy it again? Probably not. But I'm glad I bought it for $11.99. That's one of the things I love about doing these reviews is being able to find whiskeys I've never had before and try them out. Be able to say that I've actually had something without. There's too many people out there that hear that a whiskey isn't good or that a whiskey is good and spreads that word, and it's like, try it out before you make a decision. Try it out yourself before you say something's bad. I feel like that's how a lot of my favorite whiskeys, Wild Turkey 101, I hear a lot of people around me say, "Oh, that stuff's swill or whatever." It's not swill. It's far from swill. Wild Turkey 101 is really good stuff, but for some reason, a lot of people will attach it to maybe some people don't like that higher proofing, which I love. Maybe people just word of mouth and just assume it's not good stuff. And get out there and try whiskeys yourselves, guys. This one, not for me. It might be for someone though. This one I will definitely continue to make cocktails with. As I said in the beginning, when I went onto the website and saw that they kind of specialize in cocktails, you know, that's pretty much what the website was showing. You know, it kind of showed me that that's probably more what this whiskey was, you know, created for. So, not a bad product, but for $11.99 that I paid for this, I would, for $11.99 and, you know, being in that 80 proof range, I'd go with Old Crow. I'd go with Benchmark. You know, for a little bit more proof, I'd go up to Evan Williams Black, you know, which is cheaper around here. It's like $9.99, $10.99 around here for Evan Williams Black, and that's, I think, 86 proof. So I'd probably go more in a different direction next time. But now that I've tried this, you know, I can honestly say that, you know, I've tried it. It's not for me, but it'll make some decent cocktails. So nothing wrong with that at all, guys. Most whiskeys have their place, and this one's no different. So take one more sip, and then I'll give it a score. Same thing. You know, there's nothing new. Kind of a one-trick pony. But, again, not a bad whiskey. It just doesn't really have anything that stands out about it. But I'd probably give this one a 75 out of 100. Just a straight C. Again, not bad, not great, but you know, just an average whiskey. So that's it for this one, guys. Look forward to getting back on here soon. I was just looking up to the cabinet. I have a single malt scotch on the way. I've got, I think I have another bourbon up there. Some blended Scotch whiskey. And then, of course, I'm going to be going after the Noah's Mill before too long. So Russ promised to get that on here in the next week or two. But until then, guys, hope you all enjoy the rest of your weekend. And I'll be talking to you all soon. Until next time, cheers.